What up, everyone? Back for another video. This time, a review and a box layout. Haven't done one of these in a really long time because I kind of haven't been able to. So first what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the layout of the box, where they are to help you find where the figures are to find the best figure that you want. You might want to collect the whole series, you might just want one of them. So that's what this first part of the video is for, to show you exactly where they are so you don't have to waste time going through a bunch of blind boxes. Then the second half we're going to talk about a review, talk about mystery minis in general, and a few other things. So if you want to stick around for that, feel free to do so. First off, let's get right to it for the people that don't want to hear me talk. The layout of the figures. So, there are 12 different figures, but the rarity is not all common, which is really weird. I don't know why they didn't just do 12 common figures if there are 12 figures. So, first of all, this is not for people to just, get all the rare figures and sell them online. I'm not in support of that. It's just to try to help people, like, if you are trying to complete the series, if you're a collector like I am, or if you don't want to complete the series, you just want specific figures. That happens to me all the time, where I see a set where I don't necessarily like that series, but one of the figures looks really cool, and I don't want to buy a bunch of them to just try and get that one. And you can buy it online, but you have to go through really extreme markup prices, especially if it's a rare figure. So that's what this is meant for, to help you out there. So, starting out, looking at the box, this is if you are facing the box is facing you. There is a top layer and a bottom layer. The front is what's closest to you, the back is what's furthest away. If you're looking for the rare ones, super easy. First two figures, right off the bat. Funko doesn't really do too much work recently in trying to hide the rare figures. They used to. Box layouts used to be a really important thing because they would kind of mix it up here and there. They really don't do that anymore. It's basically just the front two. You're essentially, if you do the math, you're getting 2 rare figures per box of 12. Now, you can either get a 24, 36, or 72. So those front 2 figures, the right one is typically going to be the rarer one, so that's going to be your 36 or your 72, and the left one is going to be your more common one, which is typically the one of 24. So if you're just trying to complete your series, you already have all the commons, that's what you got to go for. Just grab those front 2, don't worry about the rest. And the other ones that are just common, the one of 12, also on the top row. Those are April and Splinter. Those are the only ones that are common, that are one in each box. And April's on the right, Splinter's on the left. The rest of the box is just Turtles. Those are the one of 6 ones, which I don't think anyone's really a fan of. I hate it when they do these super common figures and you're getting 2 per box. It really deters people from buying in bulk, and it really honestly kind of pushes people selling online. Because when they're that common in there, people don't want to buy full boxes, and they just end up buying online, which it seems counterintuitive. Like, why would Funko put out a product if they want you to just go purchase it secondhand? It just doesn't make any sense to me, never has, but I'm not going to go on a rant, I digress. So after that, the back row on the top, Raphael, and they're going to be right next to each other, so there's going to be left and right, Raph. Then on the bottom row, front, Mikey, left and right. Second, Donatello, left and right. And last, Leo, left and right. So that way it makes it super simple, so you don't accidentally grab 2 of the same figure. Now, keep in mind for these layouts, you have to get there when it's a fresh box. It has to be untouched, because if there are figures missing, you don't know what people have done. So many people that don't know the series exists pick it up and look at it and put it back and switch things around and try to figure out weights. So it doesn't really work as well to try and find figures if anything has been touched at all. Unless you're going for just one of the turtles on the bottom row, then that should be super simple. Those are the last ones to be grabbed. But if you want the rare ones, you got to get there first. That's why I'm recording this video today, because this series just got released today. I didn't even know it was getting released. I happened to be at Target shopping around, and they're usually really sporadic about their releases. But since the Turtles movie's coming out, there is a bunch of Turtles toys that came out. They have an entire end cap that's specifically for the new movie. So I think that Funko wanted to push these, and Target wanted to push these and make sure they all got released at the same time, which is very rare for Target. Usually each location just kind of does it whenever, but every Target I went to, with the exception of one, did it today. The other part that's kind of weird about it is that this series is not for the new movie. This is for the classic 90s show. I think they were just trying to release all the Turtles stuff at once. And, you know, the new movie looks okay. I'll still go see it, but I don't know. It looks very kiddie to me. But I still love the classic 90s cartoon. So that was the layout. That should help you find exactly what figure you want to get. And as far as I saw, all the boxes I went to, it did have this same layout. So sometimes they'll have an A and a B layout where they'll switch it up, but that's usually when they have a lot more figures. When they just do a basic 12, which again, they should have just done 1 of 12 for all of them, they usually keep it pretty simple and pretty straightforward. So let me know in the comments if anyone sees anything contrary, because this is what this channel is all about. It's about helping each other, helping us save money, helping us complete our collection. So if you have any information that I didn't see or that I missed, please let us know in the comments. Now, on to the second half of the video, which is our review. Let's talk about these figures and talk about if they're even worth getting. So like I said, this is not for the new movie. This is the classic 90s 89 TV show, separate from the new movie. I really like the new art style of the new movie, so I hope they do more figures like that. They already have the Pop figures that got released today as well, and they already have some of the Playmate stuff, and the Jada has their metal figures. A bunch of Turtle stuff came out today. It's kind of crazy, actually. So I don't know if Funko will do any more. And honestly, the Pops they did of them, they kind of look just pretty average. They just look like regular Turtle Pops. They don't really look like the art style of the movie. Some of the figures did, which is really impressive. But I would love to see Funko do Mystery Minis in that art style. I know it would be crazy hard to do, and I doubt they will, but I would love that absolutely. Now, as far as these figures, this is... one of the reasons I haven't done a review of Mystery Minis in so long is because they really don't make them anymore. Like, they do, but it's very rare. Mystery Minis were popular for a while, but now the series are pretty few and far between. And of those series that come out, they're really crappy. They're just bad all around, and I usually don't even get one of them because they're just so poor in quality. Then every once in a while, a blue moon, Funko will actually get off their asses and put some effort into something, which it seems like they did with this series. It looked really cool, and that's why I was excited for it. And this is the only time we've gotten Mystery Minis since the original set of Mystery Minis, which was 10 years ago. If I'm remembering correctly, that was in 2013. We're now in 2023, so 10 years ago. And that series was just okay. That original one was kind of rough. It was good for the time because we really didn't have anything else Turtles as far as like small collectibles at the time. So we all got it because that's kind of all there was. But it was really weird. They did this like polygonal shape to everything, and it was just really awkward looking. And they weren't bad, but they weren't really good either. And they were very cheap. It was a lot of just colored vinyl. There was almost no paint on them. The faces were like flat with just like sticker faces. So very, very cheap all around. So I was super excited to see these ones. So let's talk about the actual statistics on these figures. I always break it down into 3 categories: concept and design, paint, and sculpt. 3 separate things. So as far as the concept and design, I gave it a 9 out of 10 because it was designed very well. Now, Funko has a bad track record of Mystery Minis, as I said previously, because so many of them are just really cheap in quality. A perfect example is pretty much everything Marvel and Mystery Minis is just really bad. There's some exceptions, but most of them are just garbage because they have to be bobbleheads. But even aside from that, they're just so simple. The faces are all just flat. They have like sticker expressions on there. They don't look anything like the actors or really the characters. They're just so basic looking. So I like it when they're actually designed to look like the characters. Good examples of that were the Warner Brothers Mystery Minis we had, or some of the original like sci-fi ones that we had, or what else we got there? Or the Dr. Seuss ones, where they actually did just like, they're basically scale models, but they're chibi, which means they just have big heads, which is very common these days. So they're pretty much scale models of what they should be with bigger heads, and that's exactly what these are. They did a fantastic job, and that's why it gets a 9 out of 10. Like, it's pretty perfect as far as I could imagine. If I imagined a small version of these 90s characters, that's pretty much what they'd be. It didn't get a 10 because there's little minor things they could have done better. Like, same thing with the human faces. Often they're like flat with just like stickers. They did better, but the eyes were still stickers on a lot of the humans, and there's things like that they could have done better, but that's mostly just being nitpicky. They did go the extra mile, though, because they do have noses now. The eyebrows actually stick out, and like April has lips on her that are actually textured and things like that. So they really did a good job designing them and making sure they have a 3D feel. Now, past the design and concept, the sculpt and paint is basically the execution of those. Now, the sculpt, I also gave it a 9 out of 10 because they did a very good job. That's the execution of the actual model. Like, basically, how well does it stand? Does it freely stand? Are parts missing? Are parts, like, a little bit deformed? Are edges broken off? All kinds of things like that. Basically, how well it is as a figure as it stands. And they're pretty perfect. I tried them all out, stood them on their own on different surfaces to see if they were unbalanced. All of them stood very well. They should have no problem standing on a shelf unless there's some kind of like defect on one of them. Everyone I checked, they do really well. So I'm pretty impressed by that. So 9 out of 10. Now on to the paint. Also a 9 out of 10. One thing that bothers me about most figures, the cheap way to do it is just to do colored vinyl and not actually paint it. I can tell the difference right away, but you can tell by feeling it, and you can tell by looking at it. The colored vinyl is very shiny and smooth, where the paint is more opaque and has some texture to it. Paint looks way better in my opinion, and they did do that. There are times where they just use colored vinyl, and it's like, okay, I get it, sometimes you're not going to paint everything. It would be too expensive. I totally understand. But the times where it was appropriate, they did so. All the bandanas were painted. All the colors were painted. Like the turtles, the green parts, that's colored vinyl. Fine. And even on the smaller stuff, like I got Rocksteady right here. He even has like little gun shells right there. And they painted the individual silver shells with the little straps around it, and his little smoke bomb, and his little turtle shells with the turtle design on there. Like, it's very well done. Like, they really went the extra mile to put the little bits of paint in there. Didn't get a 10 because, as I'm talking about, there's also little paint defects on there. Maybe I'll show a closer picture, but there's times where it does go out of the lines. Very seldom, though. It's a very rare thing that does happen, but it does happen. So that's only the reason it didn't get a perfect score. But other than that, pretty fantastic. They did paint on all the spots. A lot of the eyes are just stickers, but again, really nitpicky stuff. All the colors are there. There's nothing there where it just blends together because they got lazy. It really seems like they put a lot of effort into this series, and I'm very impressed and happy with it. So obviously the overall score is 9 out of 10 because it got 9s all around. But this is about as good as I can expect from Funko. This is about the most I'd see them put in as far as effort, and this is about the most I'm ever going to see as far as quality. So this is great, where they don't do some really weird artist's interpretation of the figure, like the first series where it's just like a bunch of random shapes, and it's like, not that that's not cool, but sometimes I just want it to look like that thing. That's why I like the Warner Brothers one. That's why I like the Dr. Seuss and those original sci-fi and horror mystery minis, because it just looks like that character, and it's very well done. So that was the review. Let me know your thoughts, though, and I'm going to edit this as quickly as possible because I want to get this out ASAP, so you can get that layout if you want figures, because I want to get this out to people before they go buy a bunch of random stuff and get screwed over, because they really do get screwed with this whole 1 of 6 super common rarity. Again, this is almost identical to the first set, 12 figures. The only difference is they swapped out Foot Soldier for Baxter Stockman. So it really should have been 1 of 12. If they want to do a series with different rarities, that's fine. But give us more than 12 figures, though. Give us more to collect. Give us at least like 16 or 18 where it makes sense to buy multiple boxes. And then don't do this 1 of 6 rarity bullshit. Like, it just pisses people off. And it really deters people from buying. And that's not what they want to do, especially in this current climate where the collectibles market is on such a heavy decline. They really don't want to deter people from buying more stuff. It just seems, again, very counterintuitive, and it just doesn't make sense business-wise or collector-wise. So, yeah, there's that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. If there's anything I missed, let me know. Let the other people know. Anything you want to help with collecting. I did a pretty good job. I got super lucky. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I did not know these were getting released today. I just happened to be at Target, found this full case, and opened it up really quickly. And I usually don't jump around to different Targets because I've done that before, and they just release things whenever they feel like it. There's never been set dates. But since they had a whole end cap, I kind of figured that all of them would be, and I did. And I went around and grabbed some more figures when I knew what the rare ones are, and I've gotten almost the whole set. I'm just missing Bebop and then Casey Jones, of course, the rarest one. But those are the only ones I'm missing, and from what I've seen, these are really fantastic, really well done. Overall, very happy and pleased with them. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I keep saying that. But let me know what you want to see. Do you want to see some more reviews? I know I talked about, since the subscription box thing is dying, that we need to come up with some other things. So I'm kind of going back to things that I used to do. Not that I ever wanted to stop, but like I said, there just haven't been good series to do a review on. And there haven't been ones that have specific rarities that are worth talking about. So I hope there are in the future, because I really love collecting. I'm always going to do it. I just don't always know the best way to portray that to YouTube, because a lot of times it's just online shopping. So I'm trying to think of ways to do like hunting videos or something like that. Again, thoughts in the comments. I'm open to all suggestions. Please let me know. Other than that, thank you for watching and supporting as always. I love to hear from you. I love to talk to you. And I love collecting. And that's what it's always going to be. So until then, we'll see you on the next video. Love you all. Peace.